Hi, dear ones. I'm Amy Rose White, integrative and intuitive psychotherapist, sharing my thoughts on tools that are soul based for self healing and spiritual life. I wanted to talk to you today about two beautiful concepts a friend brought to my attention today. They are connection with something versus ownership of it. I think that is a powerful distinction that we need to make when it comes to really anything that matters to us, but especially relationships. And that's what we're here to talk about today. A lot of us mistake belonging and commitment and security for the ownership or even control of another human being. Now, I don't know anyone that would actually typically admit that right away, at least not out in public, but secretly, we're often using manipulation subtly or very directly to have a sense that we can direct people to behave the way we want them to. This is actually very normal human behavior, and it can completely sabotage and malign our relationships in every level, at work, friends, lovers, committed partners, you name it, certainly our children. But that's a topic for another day. That's a little more complex in nature. So what I'd like to get into for a few more minutes today, as I'm going to keep this relatively short, is my thoughts on how we can become aware of, are we here and present for connection with a partner specifically, or are we here to own them? One of the ways that this shows up is being threatened by our partner shining brightly in the world, getting attention, being successful, even at a subtle level. Sometimes we feel in competition. Another is to be terrified that when they are taking really good care of themselves or speaking to someone that might be attracted to them, that they somehow are getting attention that could result in loss for us. Another is wanting our partner to be more like we are. I would say I see that most commonly in my psychotherapy practice and really in my own life, especially in parenting. But again, another video. We tend to feel like we are safe if our experience is mirrored in the other. However, we're not typically compelled to choose our partners because of all the ways they're just like us. In fact, that old adage, opposites attract, couldn't be truer. There must be polarity in the energy between two people to bring the heat to a relationship that brings people together in the first place, unless they truly have decided that their romantic partnership is going to be mostly platonic and friendship based, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to keep heat alive in a long-term relationship, there has to be polarity. There has to be not just a give and a take in terms of relating, but in the energetics of how we show up. What that can often mean is that in our attempt to feel understood or get our needs met, particularly if we're not really clear on what those are, how we feel emotionally, that we're responsible for our emotional experience 100%, that that's not on somebody else, and what it is that we seek to be met in relationship, we can inadvertently basically accuse our partner of being wrong in some way or at fault, simply because they're different. So the primary tool that I'm going to offer you today to lean more in the direction of connection and less in the direction of ownership or control or seeking to make someone or mold someone differently than they are in an attempt to get our needs met is acceptance, allowance, and devotion. What I mean by that is, let's go backwards. When you're devoted to someone, you choose to see the best in them. And devotion requires understanding. So when we're interacting with our partner, if our primary objective is to more deeply understand them, which requires a lot of central nervous system soothing to be curious, we're much more likely to sidestep any passive aggressive, controlling, or manipulative behavior that's around ownership or management or power structure dynamics. So what that can look like is noticing in your physical body when you have resistance to something your partner has said or not said or done or not done. It could be as simple as forgot to pick up the groceries or was late getting the kids or said something casually about how they would prefer you to wear something else when they go out or when you two go out. And noticing what happens in your physical body and breathing into that space without a story about it. I will make many more videos on that concept because it's incredibly transformative and powerful as a tool. But if we can simply think about the breath of noticing that or tightness or holding breath that happens when we encounter something that feels uncomfortable with our partner, if we can breathe into that and simply say like, oh, okay, something is happening here. I'm experiencing something. There's sensation happening here for me. I'm going to take a few breaths and just observe without any story about that's occurring. And then my next step is to come with curiosity and a non-judgmental attitude to our partners and say, this is interesting. Can you say more about that? What was it that you were wanting when you shared that? Or I noticed that didn't happen and I felt this pit in my stomach. Can you help me know what that meant for you, that you forgot this? I mean, a lot of times people will be like, it didn't mean anything. Like I just forgot. I really am just so busy. I'm overwhelmed with this. If we can pause and interrupt the impulse to attack or control or criticize or attribute meaning, like they don't love me or they weren't paying attention or they never listen, any of those absolutes, always and never, always dangerous words. I get to use it just then. Often dangerous words, I suppose not always. Then we can be responsible for our nervous system and we can set our judgments aside to actually understand where they're coming from. In that place, much more deep connection is available. And without that, distance, mistrust, a sense of disconnection, and isolation ensue. I hope this is helpful. Please tell me how you seek connection with your partner. When do you notice that it's difficult for you to be in a place of curiosity, non-judgment, and understanding? It's a high-level relationship skill, my friends. It's certainly not something I was born with. I've learned it over time. It's dramatically improved the quality of all of my relationships, and I hope this is useful to you. Please click the like button below if this was of any value to you at all. Subscribe, click the notification button, and please let me know what topics you would like me to address or explore on an even deeper level. Until next time, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe. See you soon.